it's vegan, I am making chili. And this is one of my favorite versions. I make quite a few different chilies, but I like this one the best. It's slightly spicy, and you're gonna have to give it a try. Right now I'm preheating the skillet. Normally I make this in a saucepan, but I think it would be easier for you to see the process. Here is a 1/4 cup of hot water, and this is Bulgur wheat. I'm going to soak the Bulgur wheat for about 10 minutes, and as the skillet gets heated up, then we'll start sauteing the vegetables. I'm going to test the temperature. It's sizzling, so that means I can get started. I've got my onion and my green pepper, and we're just going to brown them and saute them in a dry skillet. If you're not familiar with that technique, you can just watch. When you are sauteing in a dry skillet, if the vegetables start sticking too much, you just put in a little bit of water or some bouillon. These are going just fine, and I'm not wanting them to get too brown. I want them to soften. This can take 5 to 10 minutes. These stainless steel skillets have a very heavy bottom, so they tend to heat up and cook pretty quick once they're preheated. You can see I'm getting a little bit of brown on the bottom of the skillet, which is fine. If I pour a little bit of water in, you'll see what I'm talking about. It kind of steams them, but again, it's cooking them, and they're browning just slightly. Again, I don't really want them browned very much for this chili. I want them softened. Alright, I still want to cook them a few more minutes. The vegetables are cooked the way I want them. You can see they're just slightly browned. What I'm doing is I'm going to be adding my tomato paste. It only calls for 2 tablespoons, and I freeze mine in these little containers in 2 tablespoon amounts. Many recipes call for 1 or 2 tablespoons, so it's just convenient. It's easy to get to like this. I'm going to stir that tomato paste in right now. It adds a dimension to the flavor. And now I'm going to stir in the soaked bulgur with the water. You'll be surprised that bulgur kind of imitates ground meat in the recipe. Then I'm adding my tomatoes, and I want to get and cook off that browned flavor down there. I am using these Rotel tomatoes, and then I'm adding my beans. And these are bush beans. These particular beans are mixed beans, and they have some mild chili sauce with them. Again, just stir this up, and I'm going to show you the secret ingredient. It's about a tablespoon of maple syrup. That was a little bit more than a tablespoon. I only wanted to put in the tablespoon. Just simmer it for about 10 minutes, and it's ready to serve. If you hang around at the end of the video, I'll show you how to can this as well, and it's so awesome to be able to just take one little jar of this off your shelf and have it for lunch or for dinner. It's been about 10 or 15 minutes, and you can see how all of the ingredients have blended together. We will be back for a taste test. The chili's finished, and as promised, here's the taste test. The peppers, the onions, the tomato, what a great combination. On this portion of the video, I'm going to show you how to can the soups that we've made. I like to can them because it's so convenient to just pick up a little jar of soup and take it off to work. Let's get started. First of all, you're going to have clean, hot canning jars. So what I do is I put them in my canner and just put a little water in there and get those hot. The next thing is that what you are canning, and in this case we're canning soup, it has to be boiling hot. I'm going to start showing you that process. There's the jars in my canner, and I have the lids on top because I want this plastic part to get soft as well so that I get a really good seal. Emphasize the importance that your electric pressure cooker must have a steam canning setting to make this safe for canning your soup. Everything is bubbly hot. I use one of these funnels. I'm going to fill my last jar. And in the case of this soup, you want to make sure that you leave almost a full 1 inch headspace. Some of our ingredients will expand a little bit, like the barley and the macaroni, for example. Now, once your jars are full, you're going to go around the edges and make sure that this is clean around the top so we get a really good seal. Kind of hot to hold. I just want to show you closely. Make sure that the top of that jar is clean. Next, the lids are also hot, so I pick them up with this tool. I'm going to put them on top of each jar. Next, you're going to take the rings, these are called rings, and put it around, just give it a little bit of a twist, and you'll put it in your canner. Once all the jars have the rings on, I'll put them in the canner, and I will use 70 pounds pressure, and I will be doing that for 50 minutes. The pressure canner has finished processing the soup, and right now it's time to take it out. I'm going to show you how to cool it. It's very important not to let it cool in the pressure canner. The sudden change of temperature helps the lids seal, and that's what we want to do. And if you start getting into canning, you're going to love that popping sound as well. If you look closely, you can see how hot these jars are and the contents. There's some bubbles happening right there, and you'll notice there's a few types of soup here because I made several types at one time, and I wanted to show you the canning process. The next thing that you will do is when these are fully cool, you'll take off the rings, you'll wash them, and then you will label them, the type of soup they are, the month and year that you made them. I hope you'll get into canning. It's so rewarding. It's just great fun. Also, these are great gifts.